So one of my favorite people is Louise Sugden. Louise is formerly a Games Workshop painter, now has a YouTube channel, Rogue Hobbies. And when we met in Nottingham, we instantly became very good friends. Mostly because she said, you can take whatever you want from my bits box. And I made her this little bootleg miniature. This is Presentor, made from an old Plague Marine body, green stuff, some bits from Ramshackle Games. And Presentor is painting a tiny miniature and has a little jump pack. And she painted it, and Louise sort of turned it into a mascot, which is a bit cheeky. But little tidbit about this model, this is a little miniature that Presentor's holding, and this was made from an epic orc, and I resculpted the face, but I put it on a square base, because square bases are the best bases. Which brings me to today's subject. We're going to be committing some crimes. I've been making my orc miniatures kind of ridiculous, and I overhang their bases quite a lot. Because they overhang, it's so easy to knock them over, and I've even put washers. A 32mm base will absolutely fix this though, but the only thing worse than me knocking these over is people thinking I'm rebasing them to the bigger size because that's the tournament standard, and I don't want to look uncool. So I've come up with a compromise. What I'm about to show you for some people might be upsetting, unsettling, and I understand if this is where we part. Hex bases. This base is 28mm and this one is 36. I need somewhere in between, and that's why we have Blender. Can you see this? Probably not. Okay, so this bevel right here, how the base is larger than the top, you know what I mean? Here, 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 you know what I mean? Once upon a time, I would have obsessed over this detail for hours. And that's why I would never get anything done, because I would go through every history of bases, I would measure all the bases that I own, I would take an average of all those. No, not today, we're just YOLOing it. That's wrong. Okay, let's undo that. Well, that's shit. The print didn't fail, I failed. I've now made this 4mm high. This was 2mm high. I don't know why. Nighttime now. Had a snooze. Let's see the results. That looks like it's worked. Let's clean these up. There is no way I can clean these up and still look cool. So we're gonna cut. So look, things didn't go super well. But I'm printing more. Let's try this again. Oh, what? What is this? What, like, why is this all printed all cubey? That's, look, I don't know what this garbage is, but we're going to just try again. This time with different supports. Thin supports, lots of them, and then a couple of thickies. Maybe one of those is good? Instead of trying to get this base right digitally, I'm going to sculpt it physically. Is that a good idea? I don't know. But I've wasted all bloody day trying to 3D print a hexagon. You know, I used to be really excited about 3D printing. Like, stupidly excited. 10 years ago, I was a very early adopter of what I thought might be the future. And I might have something. So I think, unfortunately, this hard drive contains what I want to show you. But it sounds a bit bloody sick. Sort of chugging along. I'm gonna let this try for like 20 minutes. that it? It's not on there. Bugger. All right. See you tomorrow. So the reason why this is so upsetting is like 10, 11 years ago, I got really interested in 3D printing, the idea of 3D printing. And so I learned 3D modeling specifically so I could one day make miniatures. And so I pirated some software and I learned 3D modeling. And the first thing I made was bases, round tower themed bases. And I couldn't afford to print them myself because 3D printing was very expensive. So I pitched my concepts to a base making company. I would definitely still have those emails. Man, I feel a little bit bloody sad because I would have loved to have printed these now that I finally have a printer. 10 years later. I was also pitching them MDF kits too. Man, I was ready. We might have lost our digital assets, but I have something also quite cool. Ugh, I nearly dropped you then. This was the first thing I think I sculpted. They're meant to be Tyranid bases, but they look sort of vulgar now, actually. I don't know what 14-year-old me was thinking. Let's go home. We're gonna remake the base. There's no other way. When I made those bases, it maybe took me a week, and then I had to wait 10 years, and now I've remade them in about an hour. Fingers crossed. Don't really know how I feel about 3D printing. At first, I was so excited by it. The idea that we can distribute anything, anywhere, anytime, have people on the other side of the world print things you make, makes this hobby accessible for lots and lots and lots more people. Now I'm sort of turned off the idea of 3D printing so much because 3D printing at the moment is all about more. You know, how many models can you fit in a monthly subscription, in a Kickstarter? Are the people buying those Kickstarters actually printing those models? How much labor is going into those models? I don't know. Okay, this has got to be the one. This has got to be the one. It's real. So these are my designs from 2012, and now they're reality. And the best part, the model hardly fits on there, with this big bloody nub in the middle of it. This is why you prototype stuff. What a waste of 10 years. I want to keep experimenting with these bases, except I'm due to be on a plane in about an hour because I'm going to go visit Viv from Knights of Dice, and we're going to hopefully make some more miniatures together because the response for those miniatures I teased was really cool. Viv is actually who got me into making bases. Before Viv knew me, I was watching him on YouTube and he did some excellent basing tutorials, and I'm really hoping he might still have some original molds that I can nick some cast from. Okay, let's go! Hello, how are we?
I'm good, Look at you, got a camera out, mate.
And home sweet home.
This is for the little roller door inside, and one of these is for the gate, one of them's for the door. I have no idea which.
No. Sick, thank you. Viv's left me alone at Nights of Dice, which is always a bit of a risk because I like to meddle and I like to poke around and come in here. Okay, this is the moulding and casting room. Right. And in here, look at these. Some tire tracks, some dirt. This is just some slate, I think. Bit of a classic. No idea what this is. Oh. Square bases. These bases are sort of fun because they got this curved lip on them. This is, I imagine, for War Machine or Hordes once upon a time. Look, we got some real castings too. Is this resin? A hydrostone? Resin. Oh. These are all the masters here. Check that out. So you take molds from these. Look. In here, these are the masters to make molds of houses from. Great for Mordheim. I bet that's why Viv made them. Let's continue this a little bit later when Viv's back, because I gotta have a nap, because I've been bloody going and going and going.
Okay. Good night.
I have no idea if this will actually kick or not, but let's get a quick go. Fuck yeah. Oh, good as new! All the bubbles that I just shook into that resin are now popping. Let's see if this kicks. This will get all the dust out at least. There it is. 15 minutes. Oh, okay, look. I'm pretty impressed. It's solid. All right, that's good. Let's test some silicon now. We'll cast up my hex base and let's cast this one up too. Good morning. It is the 28th of April. I just woke up. I'm at Viv's studio. He's made me a little makeshift bedroom. Viv put a box light in here because he was worried I'd miss my studio. So last night, poured that silicon. We had a little hobby night, and I made a very dumb mistake. The good news, our hexagon base cast up very nicely. Our 10-year-old base, however... So there's this thing that happens with certain silicons when it interacts with certain 3D printing resins, it will cause it not to cure. It inhibits the curing process. And I know this. I am fully aware of this fact. That's why I purchased the silicons that I do, so I can cast with 3D printed stuff. I forgot about it. Look, it didn't cure. I'm just trying to make one bloody base. Oh, I mixed some dead bugs in this one. Doing my best to let that failed base go, but I've dunked it in some acetone. Acetone is a risk because acetone melts plastic. I don't know if it will melt this resin, but calculated risk because I know that acetone will remove silicon. If you want a non-destructive way of removing silicon, you can use vinegar, I think. Okay. Brush. Something. Toothbrush. We've got to get in those creases. Paintbrush. Cheap one. Now, we can make this compatible with the silicon that failed last time by adding heat. I found a hairdryer. We're letting it bake in the sun for a bit. Get those UVs to hopefully cure anything that might not be fully cured yet. What's going on, Viv?
All sorts of drama, man. That printer in there's driving me nuts. Oh, this is fun.
Oh, this looks good.
Hawaii.
Awesome. I have sent the models to you.
Yeah, let's get a printer run. Make sure you get my good side.
Oh yeah, which one's that?
Both.
I need a lot of bases for my orcs eventually, and I want to be able to produce a lot of bases very quickly. So I turned one base into 5 bases, and then I turned 5 bases into 17. And today, to reach my goal, I just needed to make 30 something. This is it. Look at that base. 1148. Look at these hexagonal boys. Sorry, Viv, I sort of nicked your terrain for this dumb hexagon base reveal. Oh, man. I'm so bloody stoked. But that's not all. Come on. Come on, the thorn in my foot. The bane of my existence the last couple of days. It looks good on a resin cast base, just like Viv would have done it. I've made 2 molds, and I think it's only appropriate that one of mine also gets put in the pile to be discovered in 10 years. Yeah. What a bloody day. Ah. Ah.